Okay, hi everyone and welcome. My name is Sabrina Sturbis. I am the program coordinator for the UA Athens program with the University of Arizona. And today we're joined by Justin Schaefer, who is here from the American College of Greece, which is our partner institution for UA Athens. This is our newest program. We just launched it for summer 2023 and fall and academic year 2023. And so today Justin's going to be giving a presentation on ACG. So he's going to do that. If any questions come up, you can pop them in the chat, or we'll have time at the end for questions as well. And Justin, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Sabrina. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Justin Schaefer, and I am the Associate Dean of North American Enrollment and Study Abroad at the American College of Greece in Athens. And today I'm just going to walk you through a little bit of general information about our program and what you can expect from your study abroad experience at ACG. And then, as Sabrina mentioned, if you have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat box. We will do a little Q&A at the end. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right in. And I always like to start with a little bit of information about why Greece. I know when you guys are considering study abroad destinations, you have a lot of options. It's a great big world out there. So what makes Greece unique, and why should you consider Greece for your study abroad program? Now, I know I'm probably a little bit biased here, but I think that Greece is a wonderful destination that offers students a lot in terms of a study abroad experience. Aside from the fact that it actually looks like this, so it is spectacularly beautiful. You know that Greece is a nation of islands, so we have beautiful beaches and islands. We are a Mediterranean country. But aside from that, I think our location is really unique. And it really is a wonderful reason why many students choose to study at ACG. Greece is in the center of the Mediterranean. So we are really at a crossroads of Europe, the Middle East, North Africa, Western Asia. So it's a really wonderful jumping off point for students who want to have the opportunity to explore not just their host country, but other cultures and countries that are surrounding our area. So it's really easy to travel, explore other parts of the world. Greece obviously is the birthplace of democracy. It's the birthplace of Western civilization. So studying in Greece really offers students quite a unique perspective. Regardless of what it is that you're studying, I can guarantee you that there is a connection to Greece and the history of this country. So it's something that really is unique for students to explore within their fields of study in the classroom at ACG. Aside from our location and the fact that Greece is very, very beautiful, ACG, I think, is a wonderful destination for students for many reasons again, but as you can tell from our name, we are the American College of Greece. So being an American institution, all of our courses are taught entirely in English. There are no language requirements for our program. So if you do not speak any Greek, do not worry, it's not a requirement. And being an American institution, we really follow more or less the American liberal arts curriculum model. So transitioning to academic life at ACG is not really that difficult for students coming from the US, because our classes more or less are going to be pretty similar to what you're used to back home. So it is a relatively easy transition in terms of academics. Transferring courses back also is very, very easy. And I'll talk a little bit more about classes and what that looks like later on in the presentation. And finally, arguably the biggest reason why students tend to choose Greece as a study abroad destination is the affordability factor. Greece has a very low cost of living. Athens is consistently ranked as one of the most affordable European capital cities. So for students who are looking to get a lot of bang for their buck, so to speak, Greece is really a wonderful destination for you to consider. Living in Greece, eating out, dining, entertainment is all relatively affordable, especially compared to what we're used to here in the States. So a little bit more about our institution as a whole. ACG was founded in 1875. We've been around for almost 150 years. We're coming up on that anniversary soon in just a couple of years. So this is not our first rodeo. We've been doing this for a very long time. We welcome more than 1,000 study abroad students through our campus every single academic year. So you certainly would not be the only study abroad students joining us. We are a duly accredited institution. So we are accredited here in the United States. We hold validation in the UK via Open University. And I'm going to bring that up a little bit later in the presentation again, because it does affect some pieces of our academic structure, which I think is important for you guys to be aware of. So I'll talk about that in a later slide. In terms of our campus, it's a 64-acre private gated US style campus. You can see a couple photos here on this slide. The upper right-hand photo shows you an aerial shot of what campus looks like. And I really like the photo down at the bottom because I think it gives you a really unique perspective of where we're located. We are in Athens, we are in the capital city. However, we're in a neighborhood called Agia Paraskevi, which is about 20 minutes from the touristic center of downtown Athens. So we are sort of on the outskirts of the city as you're getting into the suburbs. Campus, again, is a private gated campus. It really does feel more or less like a US campus. You can see there's a lot of green space because we are located at the base of a mountain that happens to be a protected nature reserve. So on the backside of campus, there are hiking trails up through the nature reserve. But on the front side, as you can see here in the bottom photo, the second you walk outside of those campus gates and you cross the street, you're back in a city, you're in an urban environment. So you really get the best of both worlds in the sense that you have this campus community. You're going to be able to really immerse yourself in the culture of ACG, meet and mingle with other students from all over the world. But at the same time, you're also in this big world capital where all you have to do is leave campus, cross the street, and you are in an urban environment. So you have access to everything that you need. And I'll talk about the neighborhood a bit more in the next slide. The campus also holds the US Olympic Committee High Performance Training Center that was constructed for the 2004 Olympic Games. In the aerial shot, you can see right in the center there our FIFA designated soccer pitch. You can see our track. You can see our Olympic swimming pool, which is where Michael Phelps trained in 2004, the year that he won his very first Olympic gold medal. He was training on our campus and living in our student residences. So we are really proud of our athletic facilities at ACG. If any students who are interested in this program are interested in athletics, just know that those programs are open and available to you, and you can participate in the sports teams at ACG while you're studying abroad with us. And again, I'll talk about that a little bit later in the presentation in more detail. Our current enrollment profile for this year is just under 5,000 students. So we're not a super huge university, but we're also not super small. About 4,000 of those students are undergraduate students. And you can see our breakdown right here. It's important to note that we are the largest private educational institution in Greece. So we are very popular amongst Greek students. We are not an island program or just a study abroad center where you're going to be with just other US study abroad students. We are a full Greek university. So 60% of our population are students from Greece. You are going to be in classes with Greek students. You are certainly going to be forming relationships and friendships with your Greek peers. So it really is a full immersion program in the sense that you are going to be immersed in the Greek culture. You are certainly going to be meeting Greek people and hopefully making some new Greek friends. About 30% of our population are students from the United States, and the remaining 10% are international students from all over the world. So it is a pretty diverse campus community. I said that on the next slide, I would talk a little bit more about our neighborhood. The only thing that I really want to mention here about our neighborhood is we are outside of the touristic center, as I've mentioned, but again, urban environment. So you have shops and cafes and restaurants and all kinds of places to see and explore right in our local area. We're also only about 20 minutes to the international airport in the opposite direction of the city. So it's, again, a great location for students who are looking for the opportunity to be able to travel during their study abroad experience and explore other places as well. We are relatively close to two of the main ports. So if you want to go explore some of those beautiful Greek islands, it's really easy to hop on a ferry and go see an island for the day or for a weekend. And campus, again, it's in a unique location because we're sort of on the crossroads between the city and getting out into a more rural area. So if you're a student who wants to have access to the hiking trails out in the mountains, or if you want to go see one of the local beaches, they're all really close and easily accessible. Athens has a wonderful public transportation system that was constructed again for the 2004 Olympic Games. It was completely renovated, and they've done a really wonderful job maintaining that over these past 20 years. So it has excellent public transportation. There are metro systems, there are buses, there are obviously taxis. So it's pretty easy for our students to get around, not just our neighborhood, but also other parts of the city as well. Life in Athens. So I think when people think of Athens, when they think of Greece, they tend to think of ancient history, of course, because we mentioned it is the birthplace of Western civilization. And they also think again of the islands and the beautiful beaches. Greece is a nation that's made up of more than 6,000 islands. So there are lots of beautiful beach destinations to explore, but I always like to talk to students about the other things that Athens has to offer, because it really is a modern metropolis. It's a thriving world capital city, and there's so much for you to see and do in Athens. So regardless of what your interests are or what you're studying, I can guarantee you, you are going to find things in Athens that are going to pique your interest. We obviously have world-class museums and history for you to explore. There's wonderful restaurants, there's amazing shopping, again, very affordable. A little known fact that I always like to mention about Athens, because I just think it's unique, is that we actually have more theaters than Broadway and London's West End Theatre District combined. So it is a theater performance mecca. If you're interested in seeing live shows, if you're interested in seeing concerts, there are a lot of those types of events that happen in the city every single day. So you're going to have lots of things to keep yourself busy when you're outside of the classroom, exploring other parts of Athens. And then, yes, again, the spectacular beaches are just a short ride away. We are extremely proud of our facilities at ACG. Again, we're not a super huge institution, but our campus, it's small but mighty. So we have some amazing facilities on campus, from the John S. Bailey Library, which you can see a shot of in the upper right-hand corner. It's actually the largest private library in the Balkans, and it was just renovated 2 summers ago. So it's a really, really wonderful meeting space for students. There are a lot of excellent resources in our library. So if you're looking for anything that you need for class, for a project, it is absolutely the first stop for you. And there's lots of wonderful spaces within the library for students to meet, to mingle, to study, to work on projects together. So it's certainly a space that I think you will utilize quite a bit while you're studying with us. Another space that we are extremely proud of is our simulated trading room, which you can see a photo of here on the bottom left. And this space is actually pretty unique because we are the only institution in Southern Europe that has a trading room. We are using the Bloomberg technologies, so it's the exact same technology that banks on Wall Street are using. So students who are interested in finance, this is a big draw to our campus. It's a really unique space for you to be able to get your hands into. And there are a lot of courses within our business school and our finance programs that utilize this space. So it's something that students don't always get the opportunity to take advantage of studying elsewhere. We also constructed some brand new science labs last summer for our biomedical sciences program. They have some really interesting high-tech technology. So if you're a student who's interested in the sciences, I hope that you will have the opportunity to take advantage of those spaces on campus. I've already mentioned our athletic facilities, which are world-class. And then again, being Greece, we have a long-standing history and tradition in the arts, both visual and performance. So if you're a student who's interested in the arts, just know that we have some really wonderful spaces on campus for you as well. From our Black Box Theater, we have a traditional outdoor theater in the round on campus, which has some pretty spectacular views of the city. So you'll be able to see a performance there, maybe of a classical Greek theater piece with the backdrop of Athens behind you. So it's a really, really cool place to explore. And then we also have a 5,000 piece museum collection on campus. This is not student art, it's an actual museum collection. We have some pretty amazing pieces in that collection. So if you're interested in art, I hope you'll have the opportunity to explore it while you're on campus. A little bit more about our academics. We currently offer 32 undergraduate major programs and 51 minor programs across 3 schools: the School of Business and Economics, the School of Liberal Arts and Sciences, and the Francis Rich School of Fine and Performing Arts. Now, the reason why I like to mention this for study abroad students is I want to make sure that you're aware that we have a very extensive course catalog at ACG. We're offering more than 1,000 courses every single academic year in all sorts of fields of study. So regardless of what it is that you are studying, what you're majoring in, we can pretty much guarantee you're going to find something that fits into your program at ACG. You will work very closely with your advisors there in Arizona, selecting your classes, making sure you're taking courses that have been approved by your homeschool, so you know that they're going to transfer back or work for your degree program. As far as course registration goes, we give study abroad students priority registration, meaning that you're able to register for courses on the very first day that course registration opens at ACG. So if you need a very specific course in order to participate in the program, it's pretty likely that you're going to get into your first choice courses. Obviously, things do happen. Sometimes courses are canceled, or if it's a really popular course, it may fill up very, very quickly. But we work very closely with you during the course registration process to make sure that you're getting into the classes that you need. Especially for students who are in specific majors, sometimes it can be difficult for you to find a study abroad destination that's going to offer the coursework you need. So we are flexible and we'll try to do our best to make sure you're getting the classes. I did mention in one of the earlier slides a little bit about our accreditation and the fact that we hold UK validation. And I do want to circle back to that because I think it's important for students to know that that UK validation does affect how some of our courses are taught in the classroom. So at ACG, your assessments, your grade basically, is really based on 2 assessments. You have a midterm and a final. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be exams. They could be exams, but they could also be a project. It could be a paper. But just so that you're aware ahead of time, your grade is not going to be made up of lots of little grades like participation grades or quizzes or little projects or papers throughout the semester. It's really going to be comprised of those 2 assessments. So some students love that, some students don't. It really kind of depends on the individual. But it's important for you to know up front because you will need to make sure that you are participating in class, that you are going to class regularly, that you are keeping up with the readings and making sure that you're listening to your professors, that you're asking questions, you're participating in the lectures, because when it comes time for those assessments, it's going to be very important that you were present and were taking an active role in those classes. I'm not going to go over these next slides in detail, but in case you're curious, these are the programs that are offered in the School of Business and Economics. Here are the programs offered in the School of Liberal Arts and Sciences, and the programs in the School of Fine and Performing Arts. Now, if you did not see your exact major listed, do not worry. Again, it's a very extensive course catalog, so we will work to make sure that we're finding classes that will fit for you. We are also very proud of our faculty at ACG. They're just as diverse as our students. They're coming from all over the world. They've been educated internationally. So they do bring unique perspectives to the classroom. About 82% of our faculty hold PhD specializations in the fields in which they're teaching. And many of them are still working professionals in their fields. So they are still conducting research. They're still publishing. They're well connected. So we hope that you take advantage of the faculty members and their knowledge. We really want you to see them as mentors, not just your professors, but somebody who's there to guide you through your experience while you're with us at ACG. And hopefully into your future studies and career. Another great thing about us being an American university abroad is that we really have the same sort of student life activities that you would expect from any other school in the States. We have the clubs, we have the academic societies and organizations on campus, and all of these things are open and available to you as study abroad students. So we want you to feel like you're a part of the ACG community. We want you to feel like an ACG student, not just a study abroad student. So we hope that while you're with us, you will get active in our campus community. We hope that you will join a club or join a sports team, participate in the events that are happening on campus, and just get involved because it's part of the ACG experience. We also have a wonderful support system in place for you. So our International Student Services Office works very closely with my office, which is the Office of North American Enrollment and Study Abroad. And we're really there to serve you throughout the duration of your program at ACG. So it starts before you even get to Greece. We will work very closely with you through the enrollment process. You are going to have to fill out lots of enrollment paperwork, and we'll assist you with all of that. We will assist you with the visa process, which I'll talk about in a later slide. We're also going to hold pre-departure info sessions where we're going to explain everything you need to know prior to leaving, from what to pack, to information about cell phones, to information about money and banking. So we really make sure that you guys have all the information you need to have a smooth and successful study abroad experience. When you're with us during your time on campus, the ISS office is there to help you with anything and everything you need that's non-academic. So they can help you plan a trip to one of the Greek islands for the weekends, or if you want to go to Paris one weekend, they can assist you with that trip planning. But they're also there to help you with medical needs. So if you have any sort of issues, they'll connect you with our nurses in our Health and Wellness Center, and really anything you need. So I hope that you take advantage of that resource as well. Housing at ACG is all apartment style living. We currently own and operate 4 residence buildings, and we're in the process of building a 5th. But it's important to note that these residence buildings are not located within our 64-acre campus gate. The buildings are located throughout the neighborhood of Agia Paraskevi. So they're very close. They're all within walking distance, but they're not right there on campus. Again, Athens is a world capital. It's a big city. You are going to walk a lot, so come prepared to move and get around. The first 3 residence buildings are about, I would say, a 5 to 10 minute walk to campus. The R4 building is the furthest building away. It's about a 15 to 20 minute walk to campus, depending on how fast or slow you are walking. But the caveat there is that the R4 building is a little bit closer to the main metro station. So it's kind of easier to get downtown, but it is a little bit further of a walk to campus. The buildings are a little bit different because they were previously apartment buildings that were purchased by the university. So not every single apartment is exactly the same. Some may be 2 bedrooms, some may be 3 bedrooms. They do vary in size, but they all offer the exact same services and amenities. There's 24-hour security at all of the residence buildings as well as campus. There are live-in RAs as well as residence life staff that have offices in the residence buildings. So there's somebody there for you anytime, day or night. If you need anything at all, there's always a staff member or an RA who can assist you. There are free laundry services and lots of communal spaces for students to gather, to hang out, to study, to enjoy their time. And you can see a couple of those spaces in the photos here. My personal favorite would be the rooftop of the R1 residence building, which you can see in the upper left-hand corner. It's kind of hard to see in that photo, but it has a spectacular view of the skyline of Athens. You can see the entire city. It's really just an amazing place to sit, have a coffee, hang out, do some homework. If you're fortunate enough to be placed in one of the upper level apartments in that building, you will have that exact same view from your apartment. So $1 million view of the city of Athens. It's pretty spectacular. The apartments are fully furnished. They come with everything you need. So there are dishes and pots and pans in the kitchen. You don't really need to bring anything other than yourself and your clothing and personal belongings. And again, being in an urban area, you have grocery stores, pharmacies, restaurants, all of that stuff within walking distance of your apartment. I do want to mention before I move on from this slide, one last thing. Housing is a mandatory requirement for our program at ACG. So if you do choose our program, you will be required to live in ACG housing. It's just part of the ACG experience. Dining. So we have a couple of on-campus dining options for you. We have our main dining hall, which offers pretty much what you would expect from any other dining hall. There's breakfast, there's lunch, and then there is a dinner service, but it happens quite early. So most students don't really utilize that unless you have kind of a late class that starts at 5, 6 p.m. You can get grab and go items. There's prepackaged sandwiches or salads, things like that. There's also a section of the dining hall where they prepare fresh, traditional Greek food every single day. Again, I know I'm probably a little bit biased, but I have to say that the food on our campus is spectacular. I've never heard a complaint from a student or from a visitor. I personally eat there all the time, and it's really quite good. The food does vary day to day, so they always have different selections. If you are a student who has any type of dietary restrictions, if you're vegan or vegetarian or gluten-free, do not worry, they always have options for you. And even outside of campus dining, if you have any dietary restrictions, I can tell you that you're not really going to have a lot of issues finding places to eat in Greece. It's a pretty varied cuisine. It's Mediterranean, so it's pretty healthy. And basically anywhere you go, there will be options for people who are gluten-free or vegan or vegetarian, or if you have any allergies. Restaurants are pretty accustomed to dealing with those sorts of things, so nothing to worry about there. Back to on-campus dining, we also have Venitis, which is a small cafe for grab-and-go items that's located on the opposite side of campus in our communications building. So if you're running late to class and you just want to grab a coffee or a bag of chips, you can certainly do that there. And then we also have a Starbucks on campus that has a really beautiful 2-tiered outdoor deck. It's a wonderful place to hang out in between classes or get some studying done while you're on campus. I've placed a couple of my favorite local places to eat on this slide here. I'll make sure that you guys get that information again prior to actually arriving in Greece. And then during orientation, we give you lots of food recommendations as well, because there are some pretty good restaurants in the area that you should try. Athletics, I know I've mentioned a couple times already. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail here, but in case you're curious, these are the athletics programs that we offer. Again, if the program that you're interested in is in season while you're studying with us, they are open and available to study abroad students. So you can try out for the teams and you can participate during your time with us. Excursions. So we do have a couple of excursions that are a part of the ACG study abroad experience. They change from semester to semester, so I can't always guarantee exactly where you're going to go. But typically, we take students to one Greek island destination, one cultural heritage site, and one city or village or town somewhere else in mainland Greece. I've listed a couple of places here. These are the places that we tend to go most semesters. And these are a couple of photos of those trips. I've personally been to every single one of those destinations with students, and I can tell you that these photos do not do them justice. They're absolutely spectacular, really wonderful places to see. And it's a part of your ACG experience. So you don't need to pay anything extra. It's included in our program costs. For students who are coming for a semester, so fall or spring, you will have all 3 of those excursions included. Any students who are considering maybe a summer study abroad program, we only offer 1 excursion during the summer because obviously it's a much shorter period of time that you would be abroad. And in the summer, we always take students to a Greek island because obviously it's summer in Greece. Who does not want to be on a beautiful island in the middle of the Aegean Sea? We also offer a guided tour of downtown Athens that is a part of our orientation program. So I'm going to talk about that in a later slide. Health and wellness. So we know that this is extremely important, especially after the experience that we have all faced as a global community over the past couple of years. We want to make sure that you guys are healthy while you're abroad. We have a wonderful health and wellness center on campus that is, we have nursing staff there that's available for you if you get sick or have any medical issues whatsoever. We also work very closely with the local hospitals and specialists, doctors that are all English speaking, and are there to assist you in the event that you have need or have a medical emergency. Hopefully you will not need any of those services while you're abroad, but if you do, just know that we have a team in place for that. We also have a wonderful fitness center on campus, which you can see a photo of the bottom left-hand corner there, as well as all the other athletic spaces that you have access to. And the Health and Wellness Center also does a lot of fun activities. So every semester they do yoga sessions, they do meditation sessions, they'll do healthy cooking demonstrations where they'll teach you how to cook some traditional Greek food. So they do a lot of stuff throughout the year. One of the most popular sessions that they do is the Rise and Shine yoga on top of the Acropolis. You can see a photo there right in the middle. It's a really amazing experience. You do have to get up very early, I will warn you, but they wake up early, they head to the Acropolis before the sun comes up, they set up on a rock right under the Parthenon, and they do a yoga session as they watch the sunrise over the city of Athens. It is a really spectacular and beautiful experience. So if you are an early riser or if you're into yoga, I really recommend taking advantage of that experience while you're with us. We also have a wonderful counseling center on campus. The counseling center offers free and confidential counseling services to students. So if you're feeling a little homesick or you just want to have a chat with somebody, just know that that service is available to you as well while you're studying with us. Safety and security, not too much to mention here. Athens and Greece in general are relatively safe. Obviously, Athens is a large world capital city, so we always tell students, make sure that you're using the same common sense that you would in any other major city here in the States or anywhere else in the world. But you will have a full orientation program, which I'm going to talk about in the next slide. We will go over safety and security during orientation. We also have a session with a representative from the US Embassy in Athens. They come to campus, they meet with you all, they give you some tips just about staying safe, not just in Athens or Greece, but during your travels on your study abroad experience. And it's a really fun and useful session. Okay, orientation and arrivals. So we offer airport pickup as part of our arrival package. So again, that's included in our program. You will be given a specific designated day and time that you need to arrive. The time is usually from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. on your designated arrival day. So when it comes time to start looking for flights, you're going to want to make sure you're choosing a flight that's going to get you there in that time period. Obviously, if there's an issue, we can work with you. We're usually pretty flexible and see what we can do if you need any changes to the arrivals. Once you have arrived, you will be picked up at the airport and brought directly to the student residences to move into your apartment. And then in the days following that, you will have the ACG orientation program. Orientation will consist of lots of information sessions on everything from safety and security, like I just mentioned, to academics at ACG, student life at ACG. There will be lots of social events during orientation. There's always a welcome reception for all of the students to get to know each other, have a little meal, and get to know campus. We offer campus tours as well as neighborhood tours during the orientation program as well. And we also have the Downtown Athens tour, which I mentioned on that excursion slide. The Downtown Athens tour is a really cool experience. We basically take you from campus around the city of Athens. We show you some of the big major sites. You'll get to see the changing of the guard happen at Syntagma Square, which is the Parliament building in downtown Athens. You'll do a walking tour of the Plaka, which is the old historic part of the city. And you'll end with a lovely dinner in Monasteraki. So it's a really cool experience, but it's also meant to be a practical tour. So during this tour, we will take you down into the metro station. We'll explain to you how to buy a ticket, how public transportation works. And it's really designed to make sure that you're acclimated to the city prior to the start of your semester, so that you can get around and get the most out of living in Athens while you're with us. Finally, the visa process. So if you're a student who's studying with us for fall or spring semester, and you do not hold citizenship in an EU country, which I'm assuming is probably most of you, you will require a visa to study with us. It is not a difficult process. We assist you with the entire process every step of the way. We also give a visa webinar a couple of months prior to the start of your intended semester. And during that visa webinar, we will walk you through the entire process. We'll explain everything that you need to do step by step. We even pull up the visa application and we show you exactly how to fill out line by line. So it's not a difficult process, but it does require some time and effort on your part. So I like to mention it ahead of time. The other thing that's important for students to know is that the Greek visa process does require you to have an in-person visa appointment with the Greek consulate who presides over your jurisdiction. So if you are a resident of Arizona, you will fall under the jurisdiction of the consulate in LA. So you will at some point have to travel to Los Angeles for your visa appointment. If you're not an Arizona resident, if you're from somewhere else in the country, you could go to LA if that's convenient for you. Or if it's over the summer, for example, if you're going to be studying with us in the fall and you happen to not be in Arizona during the summer months, then we will work with you to help you figure out which consulate you need to go to based on where you are during that time. But again, don't worry, it's a relatively simple process that we'll help you with. And that is it for me in terms of general information about our program and what we offer. So at this point, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask away.
I had a question that was directed in the chat, direct message, Justin. What
Sure.
are some of the accessibility accommodations for students who maybe can't walk as much
Wonderful.
at ACG?
Yes, absolutely. So we do have accommodations for students. So for all of our residence halls and for campus, if you require any physical or academic accommodations, you just need to let us know ahead of time. During that enrollment process, there will be some required forms that you're going to need to fill out. And some of those forms are medical forms, which will ask you to self-disclose the need for any accommodations, be them physical or academic. So it's up to you what you want to tell us, but I hope that you do disclose the information that you can, because it will help us better serve you. Campus is accessible. All of our residences are accessible as well, so you're not going to have any issues getting around there. I will say, though, in the spirit of being completely transparent, Athens as a city, there are parts of the city that can be a little bit tricky to navigate. There are some areas where the sidewalks are very uneven or maybe non-existent at all. So something to just be mindful of if you're considering our program. There's a lot of research and information out there about the city and the accessibility of Athens as a city. So do your research, check around, but ACG is certainly accessible.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Great. We have a question in the chat box about whether or not study abroad is available to international students. Sabrina, I don't know if you guys have any restrictions on your end.
No, students are allowed to apply as international students through our office, and then I guess the visa process would probably vary just based on nationality.
Yes, correct. So for us, again, there's no restrictions. We welcome students from anywhere all over the world, but it would change the visa process slightly. So any international students, we work with you privately and personally to assist you through that visa process. And it really depends on where you hold citizenship. So it varies from country to country. No problem. Oh, I'll mention a little bit about the application process since I didn't talk about that. So first and foremost, you obviously would apply through the study abroad office there. Once you've been approved on their end, you will have to go through an application process for ACG as well. It's very, very simple. It's about a 5-minute long application to fill out. It's online, and we will require a copy of your passport as well as a copy of your unofficial transcript. Once we have those 3 items, the transcript, the passport, and the online application, we'll go ahead and process you. And then right from there, we jump in with all of the enrollment process, the visa process, and again, we walk you through everything step by step. So you're going to get a lot of information from us leading up to your program in Greece.
Perfect. And just a reminder, our summer application deadline is March 15th, and the fall and academic year applications will be April 1st, and then spring applications will be opening in June this year. And thank you all for joining today. If any questions come up, you can reach out to me. My email is ssterb@arizona.edu. You can find our UA Athens webpage on the Study Abroad website, and we look forward to working with you going forward.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining. Hope to see some of you guys in Greece.